Have you two heard the words run it straight?
Not until you said them in the meeting this morning.
No, I thought it was a marathon and I got really scared. Completely shut off.
All right. Well, yes, you saw the word run and you've got enough for me.
And you ran.
I ran away.
She ran.
Run It Straight is a rapidly growing social media trend, and this is how it works. Two players run at each other as fast as they can from opposite ends of a 10-metre strip, and they collide in a rugby league-style collision, and the aim is to knock the other over, potentially knock the other one out.
So is the person left standing the winner?
The winner. Yep, exactly.
That sounds
What could go wrong?
Stupid.
Well,
painful.
A week ago, a 19-year-old in New Zealand had his life support turned off after sustaining a fatal head injury. They'd been playing the game in the backyard after seeing it on social media. This is not some fringe fad that you need to look very far to find.
So it's not one of those crazes like the ice bucket challenge, or it's not just something that people are doing in their backyards for a video.
No. The Run It Championship, that's got its own Instagram account. It has the tagline, Home of Collisions. It's got 176,000 followers on Instagram, and podcaster Joe Rogan is among them. And this championship was founded and is run in Australia. So this is Australia has put this on the world stage.
I have one big question, Jessie.
Yeah.
Why?
There are a lot of theories that this is an anti-woke movement, that rugby league there's been a lot of research done about CTE, and that is a condition that you get from multiple head injuries, and it can be associated with things like Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, and dementia. So there are a lot of former rugby league players who are now living with the effects of having all of these concussions.
So the rules of rugby league and the conditions in the care of the players is kind of changing a bit.
Yeah.
And some people think it's gotten too soft. I watched the State of Origin with my family last week. There was still a lot of collisions in that.
Yes, but interestingly, I heard an interview on the day of the State of Origin with a former player saying, the whole bring back the Biff thing. He was still saying there just isn't enough. There isn't enough punch-ons.
I saw blood.
Oh
I saw people falling on the floor. I saw somebody's arm going funny.
So there's this sense that these sports have gone soft, and that what men need to do to be men is run at each other really fast. And the sport itself they've got people working on safety protocols about how to do it as safely as possible. But experts have said you don't actually need a head collision in order to get a brain injury. And sometimes what can happen is you hit your head, you don't even get a concussion, right? So you think you're fine. One more and you're dead. This literally will lead to disability, dementia, and death. That's
Can you
pretty clear.
Explain to me the circumstances, the context? So are they Run It Straight? You said before there are all these followers, there's kind of contest. So do you go, is there an arena and people, how does it work?
Yeah.
Oh my God, an
And
arena.
what's the scale? It sounds like the Gladiator days.
Yeah.
It does.
And there's
Are they wearing spikes?
there's a cash prize that you get.
Right.
So $10,000-$20,000 that you get
For surviving?
for winning, for being the one that's standing.
The last
And,
man standing.
spectators love it. And this is being driven by a lot of spectators being I want to see two men, 25 to 30 kilometres an hour. These men are running at each other without slowing down. And Barstool Sports shared a story about it and said this is the sport of the future, speed and violence. What more could you want?
This is so interesting.
Yes.
There seems like there's a big, I know you mentioned Joe Rogan, but it seems like there is a big push back to violent sports, with that. And I know that fans of things like MMA will say that there's control and skill, and of course there is. But what basically lots of different ways to watch men in particular colliding, fighting, challenging themselves physically. It feels like a big bubble up.
Yeah.
It's also the seeping into real life that's really weird. I have to admit, me and my family are big NRL fans. We go to so many games. We even play NRL bingo, where we're if a player wears pink shoes, you cross it off. One of them,
who is your team?
I was going to ask that too.
Penrith Panthers.
Oh, see, we were West Tigers growing up.
Because you're West.
Yeah.
We're from Penrith. So one of the things on our bingo cards is a player gets sent off for a head injury. But there's something about
fun.
Yeah, fun. And it happens. It happens. Everyone who gets that on their bingo card, they're going to win. There's something about being in the spectator stands and hearing two grown men bodies slam into each other that you're just like amazed by, like the sound of it and then the fact they
get up again
and they just get up and they feel like they haven't felt anything. But at the same time, it's these professional athletes who have literally trained their bodies to go through these things, and they do die and they do get severely injured where they can't play or have a normal quality of life. But when you're watching it from a sport, it feels like you're so separated. It feels like you're watching a movie and it's not really happening.
Yeah, and this is seeping into NRL culture a little bit, which the institutions of Rugby Australia, which is a different code, but rugby has come out and said we have nothing to do with this. But over the weekend, the Manly Sea Eagles said that they were going to step up their game day security because there was footage of fans drinking and then running at each other on the main hill that was getting hundreds of thousands of views online. So people are doing this on the sidelines.
I can only imagine that it's going into playgrounds.
Oh, yeah.
Like I imagine that if this is something that is spreading online that quickly, I can only imagine, and obviously I'm thinking about my little boy who is not that guy, being slammed into, and it's a game. Like that's
what's hard about it, because it is a game, and like from what I know, like both of the people who are slamming each other want to do it. And the only thing that I kind of can relate it to that I remember, because I was really young when this happened, was when we had the lockout laws for the coward punch.
Yeah.
And it felt like at that time, immediately we had the lockout laws because one person was a victim. But now it feels like there are two people who are victims, but also two people who want to do it, who want to get injured.
Yeah, no, exactly right. And
like, how do we moderate that?
Yeah. And I think that the school example is a really pertinent one, because there are going to be teachers seeing lots of this. And apparently money is a big factor, as in whether it's – I keep thinking who would sponsor this, but apparently the events are sponsored, the people are paid good money. With big social media views comes money as well. So you have an industry that then is literally capitalizing on potentially horrific injury. Look, the people who are defending it, here's what they say. They say boxing, right? Like people, that is a professional, respected sport, and there are ways to do it that you can train people to do it as safely as possible. And so run it straight. If that's training people to do it safely, then isn't that better than just letting people at it? That's kind of their argument.